You're dirty.
Hmm?
You're still dirty.
What? Oh, I'm still dirty. I was just working on my motorhome, guys. Sorry about that. Taking a little bit of a break to hang out with you guys. First thing, a little bit of housekeeping. I've got a new website, so if you guys haven't checked it out, check out gunsandguitars.net. A lot of cool stuff over there. Namely, it's just kind of all the stuff that I have in one place. So there's links to merchandise. There's links to my Amazon store, which I am revamping. Lots of you guys are always asking what kind of tools that I recommend. Hey, John Clark's here. Hey, John, you've got some in-ear monitors coming your way, bud. Solid Good Guitars is here. Hey, Corey, how's it going, man? So yeah, you can, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so a lot of guys ask for recommendations for tools and supplies and stuff for guitar building, whatever. All that stuff's going to be available in my Amazon store, so you don't even have to ask. You just go over there and just know that if it's in there, it's something that I have used and promoted on my channel. And likely, if you ask me that question, that's how I'm going to answer it, is check out my Amazon store. So Drew Lawton's here. Hey, buddy, you've got some in-ear monitors coming your way, too.
Is that a beer? Someone asked?
It's not a beer. Somebody asked if this is a beer. It's not a beer. This is Fizz & Co. Seltzer. So this is Dr. Pepper flavored seltzer water. It's like LaCroix version of Dr. Pepper. So it's basically like, you know, like when you go to fill up your fountain drink and like the syrup bag ran out. That's what this tastes like. But I've actually given up soda pretty much entirely. And now whenever I have it, I just feel really sick to my stomach. So this is the next best thing. What else did I want to talk about real quick? Oh yeah, my wiring diagrams are now available for sale on my website. Some of you guys have mentioned that you tried to purchase them and it wasn't working. We got that bug worked out. So if you're not a patron, over on Patreon, all my Patreons get my wiring diagrams for free. But if you're not a Patreon supporter and you would like to check out my wiring diagrams, I'm slowly adding my collection for sale over there. And they're actually, I think they're priced very reasonably, considering the amount of thought that I go into them. And they're not just like your typical penciled diagrams like I normally upload to Patreon. These are like high quality, color coded diagrams. I'm working really hard on them. So was there any other housekeeping things I need to say real quick?
I don't think so. I think you covered it.
I think I got it all. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about the Great Guitar Build Off. Okay, I wanted to make a video critiquing the other builds, but I've decided these live chat hangouts are actually just a lot of fun for me. They're actually really life-giving for me, so I like hanging out with you guys. So I've decided that any week that I can't upload a video, I'm just going to do a live chat, and I'll probably do it about whatever subject I've been meaning to get to and haven't gotten to today. So today we're talking about the Great Guitar Build Off, and I just wanted to talk about the entries, the official entries. And so let's go ahead and start. We're going to go in order of auction price. So we'll start out at the very bottom, worst place, Jimmy DiResta, right? I shouldn't say worst place. Let's be more positive than that. We'll find an award to give to Jimmy. But I love Jimmy DiResta. I follow his channel. I've watched some of his builds. He made that Gat-tar a long time ago. If you guys haven't seen it, you need to check out that video. A beautiful work of art. Basically made a guitar that looks exactly like an AK-47. The trigger activates the tremolo. It was very sweet, very well done. So what happened with this project? I think Jimmy just didn't have enough time, and I think if he had it to do over again, he probably would have given it a little more thought, a little more time. But I know Jimmy's got a lot of stuff going on right now. He's got his own brand of jeans coming out apparently, and worst place. Oh, somebody got the Homestar Runner reference. Good job. Yes, coming in worst place. So yeah, so hopefully he sold a lot of jeans at least from that video, because he didn't sell his guitar for very much. I think last I looked it went for like $750. So which is actually pretty good. I mean, that's typically what I sell my guitars for, around that price, so not too bad. But yeah, I know he's working on like a TV series and stuff, so he just didn't give it the time, right? think you guys probably all agree with me on that. So yeah, what do you guys think about Jimmy's build? Do you think that he nailed it, or do you think that it was kind of a last second thing? I'm interested to know.
Someone asked what your favorite guitar is.
Somebody asked what my favorite guitar is from the build-off. We'll get to it. I guess let's just go ahead and go on to the next one.
Didn't think much of Jimmy's guitar.
Yeah, that's what it is. So we'll go ahead and give him most pants sold award. Okay, so Jimmy gets the award for most jeans sold through one of these videos. So at least he's got that going for him. All right, next up, I believe in order of auction price would be Big D Guitars. Derek from Big D Guitars. And so I think the reason why his didn't perform super well is because he went really safe. And that was what we kind of all predicted was going to happen. He built a Telecaster. He did a supreme job. I mean, the only thing really different that he did was that cool top that he put on it. I want to say it was roasted walnut or something, and he did it in a unique sort of chevron pattern, which you don't see. So excellent, like top of the line finish on that thing, but it was just a very safe build, right? And so my opinion of it is it's beautiful. I'd love to own it. It's a very giggable guitar. You know, it's not like a freak of nature that you'd be scared to take on stage. So I think that one was probably not bought by a collector. It was probably bought by a real player, especially for the price. I mean, that's a price that I think a real gigging musician would be willing to pay for a high quality guitar. So I'm guessing that one's going to get some love. So that's cool. So good job, Derek. I think next time, if you want to make a bigger splash, you probably have to do something a little more wild. I think everybody was expecting you to build something safe, and you delivered, I guess. So there's that. Feel free to let me know how you guys feel about these entries as I'm talking about them so that I can agree or disagree with what you say. So let me know how you feel about Derek in his Big D guitar build. So moving on to, I believe it was Tamar was the next one up. And she did fantastic.
Said about Big D that I think he had good ideas, but it just wasn't executed optimally.
Okay, somebody said that Big D had good ideas, not executed optimally. I think what he did was executed with precision. So maybe we'll agree to disagree on that. I just think that his ideas weren't big enough, I think is what I would say. Yeah, Evan Shank says that, or Yevon Shank, I'm sorry, I probably just botched your name. Love the look of Derek's. I agree. I loved it too. And it's a guitar that I would totally own. Absolutely. But getting back to Tamar, she came in. Oh, we need to give Derek an award. We'll give, what award should we give Derek? Derek, most giggable. How about that? Most giggable. You could bring that to a gig, and you get a lot of people that are like, oh man, cool guitar, but no one would be like, why did you bring that? You know, I think out of all of them, it's probably most giggable, most safest to take to a gig without funny looks, right? So good job, Derek. Tamar's build, she did great, especially for not really being a guitar channel, specifically a guitar building channel. She is an incredible craftsman, craftswoman. Can we just agree that craftsman is gender neutral? I don't want to have to say craftswoman, but hopefully I don't sound sexist in that. I loved her guitar, that offset sort of Les Paul, Jazzmaster Telecaster Mod Podge design she came up with. I think that was super cool. I bet that feels really good in the hands. I bet it plays really well. So excellent job on a custom design, something that's unique enough to know that it wasn't a copied or a stolen design. Probably the fact also that she like literally just drew it on by hand as she was going probably gives that away too. The veneers, we all saw that coming. If you follow her channel, she did a test with a 3-string Explorer style like cigar box 3-string guitar, and she said in that video, I'm testing out this idea for the Great Guitar Build Off. So I think we all knew what she was going to do, and I had predicted that she was going to do some sort of burst pattern with it. I didn't think she was going to do something weird and crafty like a I don't know, like a houndstooth or a chevron or anything like that. I expected her to do something that looked at home on a guitar, and she did really good. I loved the way that came out. She even, bonus points for her, she got 2 of the colors wrong, and she went back and corrected it. Props. I mean, that's the difference between a craftsman and an artist, right?
People say they were immediately a fan with her cigar box guitar.
Yeah, that Cigar Box Explorer was super cool. Yeah, I agree. So people said that they were a fan of that Cigar Box guitar, the 3-string Explorer. So going back to, I think that's really important to note here. Tamar could have easily left it. I think most of us wouldn't even have noticed. And it would have been one of those things. I mean, honestly, if I did it, I probably would have been like, that's good enough. And just left it. I think probably the majority of people would have. But the fact that she pried those pieces off, routed and chipped them off, and then put them back in the correct order, props to her. So what award should we give Tamar?
Someone also said her build was good, but the electronics weren't really awesome.
So someone said that her build was good, but the electronics weren't really awesome. I thought they were good enough. She installed coil splits, which is cool. I mean, that's kind of above the skill level, I would say, of most do-it-yourself guitar builders, honestly. So she definitely, compared to her guitars that she's built in the past, that was an area where I feel like she actually stepped it up a little bit by installing something a little bit different. And she even she readily agreed on camera that she isn't the best when it comes to electronics and soldering and stuff. So I thought that was cool and brave of her to do that. I know she used some pretty high-end components, so I thought they were pretty good. I think obviously you can always do more, right? But I thought that she put in a good amount. And so Andrew Littlefield said coffee. It's after 4 o'clock. I'm not allowed to drink coffee after 4. It upsets my stomach. You always talk about a good cup of coffee. What brand of coffee do you choose when you want a good cup of coffee? So, might have to drop this link down in the description when I'm done with this live stream, but my wife found on Amazon this cold brew toddy brewer that makes the best coffee. Like if you guys are into cold brew or toddy brew coffee, it's better than any coffee shop that we've ever been to. And we used to have the Starbucks Verismo and the what's the other one? The new one? Not Nescafe. What is it? Nespresso. And those make a decent, I would say, espresso shot. But when you're making a nice coffee, nothing comes close to this toddy. So we'll put a link down there in the description. It's South Dakota coffee that we have in there right now?
It's good.
Okay, so when we were in South Dakota in Sturgis, we picked up some locally roasted coffee beans, and I think we're still using those. So, but I think honestly, any fresh ground coffee beans would probably taste good in that. So we'll put a link to that. So Tamar, we need to give her an award. Most perfectionist, because of the veneer swap, right? I've been drinking instant because of my stomach. Oh, sorry to hear that, man.
Tongue oil coffee.
Tongue oil coffee? I'm sure it would line your stomach real well. Hey, by the way, it's worth mentioning, how many builders in this guitar build-off use tongue oil on their builds, right? That made me so happy to see. A lot of people use the oil that Crimson sent. It's great stuff. I'm sure I didn't get a chance to test it. I played it safe with tongue oil. Lots of other builders in this competition use tongue oil to finish at least the neck, if not other parts on the guitar. So there's something to it, guys. So yeah, moving on. Who's the next after Tamar? Brad Angove. Yes. Brad, his auction shot up at the last second. He was kind of behind there for a while, and at the last second there was a bidding war that pushed him over $3,000. And I know that I reached out to him after that, and he said that he was pretty happy with that. So, and I think that's cool too. Brad, boy, he sure had a hard time with his build, didn't he? I think the guitar shape is cool. The rhino shape that he came up with, I think it's super cool. Is it giggable? It's going to get a lot of funny looks, probably, just because it's a pretty outrageous design. Functionally, I can see why he did it. I'm sure that thing is really comfortable to play. And I think for certain heavier music styles, I think it would look at home on stage. So I liked the body shape. What do you guys think of the body shape?
I liked the.
So somebody
Yes,
said, not a fan of Brad's build, no offense. Yeah. I think it's one of those things where you're either going to like it or hate it. And then as far as the finish, he started out with that hard candy coat, and I got to give him props because he didn't love the way it turned out, so he redid it. But when he redid it, he went, I think, outside his comfort zone. He ended up going with a rub-on. He basically used his tints for his I don't even know the terminology because I'm not into those kinds of finishes. He ended up using it more like a stain and then rubbing on a hand rubbed oil finish. He did some freehand routing. I mean, it looked like a build that I was doing, right? I was very proud of him stepping out of his comfort zone with a lot of that stuff with the freehand routing and trying out some different finishes and stuff. Was it wise to do that in the Great Guitar Build-Off when your reputation's on the line? I don't know. I mean, he did fare well. I mean, he landed right in the middle. So he did something that I think we didn't expect him to do. And I think it worked out okay for him. But I think we all expected to see a really cool airbrush paint job. And in that, I think I was a little bit disappointed because I was just looking at him to go all out with his airbrushing skills. And he kind of pulled a switcheroo and did something entirely different that I didn't expect. But as far as like finish and stuff, you guys know I'm a wood grain guy. You guys know that I'm a hand rubbed oil finish guy, so I love that. And the metal pick guard, awesome. I think it complemented the body shape really well. So good job, Brad. And I'm super happy that there at the last second you're able to raise some more money for your charity. So that's super cool. So good job. Let's see, what award should we give Brad? Any ideas?
He wins the award for trash talk.
Most trash talked. I think that would be a tie with the guys from Texas Toast. I don't know if we can award one of them.
Most Canadian.
Most Canadian. That's.
Best hair.
I don't want this to turn into like a cultural thing because we could do
Lots of people say
most
best hair.
most British and stuff. So. Biggest muscles, but that doesn't have to do with his guitar. How about the redo award? Well, Tamar did a little redo, so how about most outside of his comfort zone award? How about that? I think that's a good one. Let's go with that. Most second guessing. David, you're hilarious. Maybe. So we'll go with most outside of comfort zone award. All right, so moving on. I think it was that Guns and Guitars guy was next. Let's talk about him. I just spit pretzel. How are we doing on time? We've been going at this. Oh, I wanted to keep this short, so I got to go a little faster.
10 more minutes.
The Guns and Guitars guy, I think in a lot of ways played it safe. He pulled a switcheroo at the last second. Didn't let anyone know that he was building a bass, although that's something that you could have probably assumed with getting a body with no neck routes or pickup routes or bridge routes. Why else would you not want that stuff, right? Obviously, I thought that it was going to be predictable from the beginning. The only people that knew that I was building a bass are people that are a part of my Guns and Guitars secret Facebook group. I kept them in the loop the whole way. And you can be a member of that by being a top tier patron. So again, I talked about Patreon earlier. So if you want to do that, it's a great way to support the channel. And we just have a lot of fun. And so they got to see the whole build process every step of the way, which was about a total of 5 days. I was fighting a lot of motorhome issues when I first got that project started. I was repairing the roof. I was repairing the generator. I was doing a lot of stuff where I was trying to put my family first. Plus, we were traveling through all these beautiful national parks, and I didn't want to miss out on that. Send my wife and kids into Yellowstone while Dad's at home working. I wanted to experience that with my family. So between all that, I left myself very little room to work, and it really came up to the deadline. Hey Todd, good to see you, man. So yeah, but I gotta say,
Talk about the headstock.
It came together pretty good. The headstock was a risky choice. but I was fairly certain it was going to work. And since then, some people have showed me some designs in the 70s that actually had used that. So not that exact headstock design. I think that mine looks a little more aesthetically pleasing, but the idea of putting the horizontal tuners on there. And so, yeah, that turned out good. I was very satisfied with it, and I was blown away at the response. You guys really love that build. Lots of people in the guitar build off really like that build. I gained a lot of subscribers, I think from people that were following my channel but not that closely, that was kind of the selling point. So that was cool. I call it a win for sure. And the auction went for way more than I expected. In fact, I still have it because the person who won it wants me to sign it and put some personal touches on it. So, but every time I move it around, I'm like, this is a $4,000 bass now. I can't put a scratch on it. So anyway, so yeah. What award do I get? Most headstockist? Who said that?
Stinkface McKnight.
Of course, Stinkface McKnight said that. Most headstockiest. We'll go with that. I'll take that. Mark, it went for $38.50, so just shy of $4,000. So I was pretty happy about that. So most anticlimactic button.
People like the natural tones.
People like the natural wood tones. So that was, I originally had wanted to do a blue ocean wave, and I drew it out in my little iPad, coloring program, and I just didn't love it. So then I drew one out with the natural wood tones, and I asked my wife which one to do, and she said the natural wood tones, and that was the much better choice. So I'm glad, I'm happy with how that went out. Art, we don't know who won the build off yet. All the auctions have won, or all the auctions have ended, so we know how much money was raised. And we can look on the Instagram page and see who was ahead on the likes. But still, I think it's still open for donations. So if you want to vote for my bass again, you can go to the Great Guitar Build Off website and vote with your donations to Lifewater. I think those are still open till the end of the month, maybe.
The charities won.
Yeah, the charities are the biggest winner. Absolutely. I mean, a lot of money has been. I mean, tens of thousands of dollars have been raised at least. So that's really exciting. But we won't know who the official bragging rights winner is until all the charity donations are tallied up. And I think you're still open to vote on that for a while. David said, I'm right about PRS bases. Thanks, David. Thanks for agreeing with me on that. I think this is a cool design, and I'm actually shopping it to some major manufacturers as we speak to see if somebody wants to pick up the design, because you guys have been telling me that it should be a production model, but I don't have the means to do that living and traveling in a motorhome at the moment. So if I can license it to someone else, that'd be awesome. I would be just as happy about that. So let's move on, because I wanted to keep this short. I wanted to keep it under 20 minutes, but let's shoot to keep it under 30 minutes. How about that? Let's move on to who's next. Ben Crowe from Crimson came in at just over $4,000, I believe, or maybe $4,100 or $4,200 U.S. equivalent. Of course, his was in pounds. What do you guys think of that? I think the predictions were pretty spot on. If you look at what Brad predicted he would do, it was perfect. And I think Phil McKnight nailed it when he said that Ben Crowe's not going to wow us because everything he does is outrageous. So when he does something outrageous, that's just normal for him, right? And I would agree with this. My thoughts on Ben's build: it's awesome, great idea, great execution. I loved it so much more when it wasn't painted. And now I know that I'm like a wood grain guy, but I love the little burnt textures that he did with his little Dremel tool. I thought it looked super cool. I love the way he chambered out the middle of it, and then he wrapped it in the aluminum, which was cool. I think if he had left it natural wood, that would have been sweet. But since he painted it with the shielding paint, which is cool, but I feel like whenever you paint something that's that textured, it makes it look like a sloppy paint job, like especially on a guitar. And I think that was part of what went wrong with Jimmy's build, is that it was textured because he had just burned the heck out of it, and then he put a high gloss finish on it, and it just looked like it was just painted poorly. And that's kind of the vibe that I got from Ben's. Super good idea, super good execution, but I thought it cheapened it, but it's just my personal opinion. I actually felt the same way about his what is it, Cyberpunk 2077 build. I thought that build looked so much cooler before it was painted. Oh, it's almost like I'm with him all the way up until the last episode, then I'm like, oh, I'm no longer with you, bud. Sorry. But that's just me. Guitars that are made out of wood, I feel like should be made out of wood. I think if you want to make it look like it's made out of something else, make it out of something else. You know, acrylic guitars are cool, metal guitars are cool. So but again, it's totally personal opinion. So what award should we give to Ben?
Popsicle stick award.
Popsicle stick award.
Best fans.
We got to keep it positive here.
Most bang.
Lightest,
No.
most bang for your buck, because it's the least amount of material but the most amount of money. That sounds like, all right, we'll go with best bang for the buck. Because it's the least amount of material for the most amount of money, right? Isn't that like the opposite of my channel? Spend less, play more. Best interference protection, that'd be good too. Yeah, because he painted the whole thing with shielding paint, so there's no way that thing's gonna have any whatsoever. So those work. Air Strat. Yeah, air guitar award. Okay, we'll go with that. All right, so next would be Texas Toast. All right, they were the ones that we all thought were gonna win, mostly because they wanted it the most. They wanted the title of best guitar builder on YouTube. And like Phil McKnight said, you put enough horsepower behind something, you're going to do well, right? So they talked a lot of trash in the beginning, but I think they delivered on that freak of nature 3-neck guitar. Now, they were going after a very specific demographic of people that are bidding on that. Okay, no gigging musician is bidding on that guitar. Okay, I owned a double neck guitar bass that I saw on Craigslist maybe like 15 years ago, and I was like, that's cool, I have to have it. It was $250, 5-string bass on top, 6-string guitar on the bottom, and I was like, I have to have that. But I was so afraid to take it to a gig because I knew that people were going to think that it's the dumbest thing ever. So I never gigged it once, and it ended up hanging on my wall as a piece of art. And I had it until I moved into my motorhome, and then I sold it, I think, at a garage sale for just a ridiculously low amount of money because I was just selling everything. But that is a wall hanger. They went after the collectors for sure. That is somebody's art. And so I think that's why it went for so much. It went for $7,100, $7,200. That's a lot of money. Holy cow. They invested a lot of money in it, a lot of work. They got experts in to do the pinstriping, and they just spent a crap load on the electronics, really high-end stuff in there, which is kind of, in my opinion, kind of a shame because it's never going to get played, right? So most expensive to restring. Yes, I love it. I actually thought about that. I was like, man, the first time someone has to restring that thing, they're going to go broke. And somebody told me, they're like, I thought the guitar build off was for 6 strings only when I brought a bass to it. They're like, wasn't it only for 6 strings? And I was like, if that's the case, then Texas Toast blew it big time because there's like 24 strings. So anyway, all right. So who wants to name the Texas Toast guitar?
We got Cheap Trick Award, most riffs, Texas Toast Hydra,
Most
Fence Post,
most riffs. What else?
the Fence Post, most riffs, Texas Toast Hydra Award,
Texas Toast Hydro Award.
most
I don't
Wonder
even know what
Bread
that means.
full guitar,
Most Wonder Bread Flow guitar.
Wonder Bread full guitar.
Wonder Bread Full guitar. I would say most effort. How about that? They put in the most effort. They wanted this the most. The Trident.
Most likely to neck dive.
Most likely to neck dive. I don't know that. Have you seen that body? That body looks pretty heavy. It's most likely to break your neck, maybe. But we're keeping this positive, right? I doubt that there's strap buttons even on that thing. So it's probably not meant to be hung around your neck. What do I call it? Most effort. We'll give it the most effort. because they wanted this the most and they worked really hard. They pulled out all the stops. So good on them. Strategically, I think it probably would have gone for more if they would have chosen a better charity. And I'm kind of afraid to say that. Maybe I shouldn't say it. But it seemed weird that they just kind of picked their friend as the charity. I know this person has been in the hospital and undergoing hardships, and they make their money building guitars. And as long as they're, out of work, that's going to hurt them financially. So maybe he does need it. I assume that this person probably also had insurance, so they may not be out of the water. But I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't speculate. But it seemed to me that was the part. I think the only part about Texas Toast that rubbed me the wrong way was their charity of choice. And so next year, I'd like to see them pick a nationwide or an international charity. I think would be better than just picking their friend or some guy that they know. My personal opinion. Feel free to disagree with me on that. And then lastly, in first place of the auction-wise, I don't think any of us saw this coming. Phil McKnight, out of nowhere, $8,000 is what his guitar sold for. My wife and I are still trying to figure out how that worked out.
He's a nice guy.
He's just a nice guy, right? I happen to know Phil McKnight. Him and I have had a couple of phone conversations. He's actually a member, a quiet member of my Guns and Guitars secret Facebook group. There's a few celebrities that pop in from time to time. Corey from All Good Guitars is in there. Brad Angove's in there. Phil McKnight is in there. Dylan Tuxtone is in there. So Guitar Max is in there. They all pop in from time to time. So if you want to shout them out, you can do so through my secret Facebook group by joining as a top tier patron over on Patreon. So I love Phil McKnight. He is such a good dude, and talk about a standard of integrity. And I think that's why his guitar went for so much, is because people have just come to know him and know that he's honest. And when he says that he's building his dream guitar, people believe it. And they like the stuff that he put on there, the tremolo, the custom wound pickups. He custom cut the bone nut and included the Graph Tech, which I thought was cool. That paint job was super cool. I think it's, again, I'm a wood grain guy. He had this beautiful, nearly 3/4 inch flame maple cap, and he covered it in glitter. A part of me died on the inside, but lots of people love those sparkle guitars. I mean, that's why those vintage, gold top Les Pauls and, leadwood drum sets and stuff are so popular. People love glitter on their instruments. I don't know why. I don't get it, but people love it. And so what happened, I'm guessing, is that a few people looked at that and went, that is my dream guitar. And it was for a good cause. And so people didn't mind spending a little extra money. And so that's why it went for a lot of money. So that's my speculation.
Said on his live stream a few minutes ago, he admitted it was the best guitar in his collection after it was sold.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so E.R. Webster, yeah, he admitted in his live stream after it was sold that it was the best guitar he had ever owned. So, yeah, I agree. I think that's a killer guitar. Super giggable. No one's going to look at you funny bringing that to a gig. I know that it sounds awesome. I know that it plays awesome. He put a lot of work into the fretwork, as we all did, I think, except for Jimmy, who didn't even cut his nut properly using the wrong type of file. Did you guys listen to that sound demo at the end? You could tell that the guy playing the guitar was trying his best to not make it sound like an out-of-tune sitar, which kind of made me chuckle a little bit. But sorry, I don't mean to be negative. I love Jimmy DiResta. He does a lot of really good work on his channel. Again, this is just one of those things where I think he should have just spent a little more time. But back to Phil, great dude, great cause. Great guitar. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the cake overall. He's a little behind in the Instagram polls because he didn't release what he was doing at the time that we all were supposed to. It was just like a half-painted guitar, and so nobody was voting for it. It was almost like a joke. It was, yeah. But I think as far as raising money for charity and the auction, yeah, he's on top.
Not a luthier.
Yeah, DiResta is not yes, I agree. DiResta is not a luthier. I think he is a guitar player, but that's one of those things, like when you have that large of a platform and you're in a guitar building contest. I mean, he could have watched one YouTube video to know how to properly cut a nut or how to not install the tuners upside down, and he chose to just upload it as is. Again, just not enough thought, not enough effort. And so I'm not criticizing Jimmy as a person. I think he has an excellent YouTube channel. I think he does excellent work. He's an excellent craftsman, blacksmith, all that stuff. He could do so much more than I could. And so it was, what I'm criticizing is the lack of effort in this particular project. So, and again, you guys can disagree with me on that. If you guys liked Jimmy's build, then I'm not going to argue with you. All right, so that's it. 35 minutes. That's 15 minutes longer than I wanted to go. So let's just do 5 questions, Q&A time, and then we'll wrap this up. I would love for this live stream to be watchable later for people that weren't available for the live stream, but I think we're kind of beyond that at this point anyway. So 5 questions.
You didn't give him an award.
Oh, I need to give Phil an award. I would definitely say he definitely gets the surprise ending award, because I don't think any of us expected him to raise so much money on the eBay auction, and it kind of came out of nowhere. I think it shocked all of us. So we'll give him best place. How about that? Best place award. All right. Any Solgood says, didn't like it all. He spent more time promoting jeans. Yeah, I agree. Okay, super chat. Opinion on Brad's guitar. I bought it. Awesome, Brad. Brad Hutchings, you bought Brad Angove's guitar. I talked about it earlier, so you might not have missed it, or you might have missed it. But I liked Brad's guitar. I thought the shape was super functional. I bet that thing's super comfortable to play. I give him the most outside of his comfort zone award because he did some things that I've never seen him do on his channel before, like some freehand routing, and he ended up doing more of like a stain type finish with a hand rubbed oil finish, when we all expected him to do like a candy coat, hard clear, high gloss airbrush thing. So I think he threw us all a curveball. I think his choice of electronics was cool. I love the pick guard. I thought it matched the body style really good. So I'm just reiterating what I said earlier. So congrats on winning that guitar. I think it's going to be super cool. I think it's going to be playable, giggable, and wall hangable.
Mention that you have one if anyone wants one.
Oh, and if you guys missed out on winning Brad's guitar and you want a custom Brad painted guitar, I do have my non-reverse Firebird for sale on my website, gunsandguitars.net, which was a collaboration video, and I was going to split the profits with him if it ever sold. So there's that. It's for sale. I'm probably actually going to be auctioning that off once the Great Guitar Build Off is over. I'm going to auction that one off probably to benefit charity as well, just because it's a cool guitar. It's been up for a while. People haven't seemed to want to purchase it, but I would like to see it to go to a good home and help a good cause. So there's that. All right. 4 more questions.
Any new upcoming videos to look out for?
Any new upcoming videos to look out for? James Vanderveen. Let's see. I've got a lot of firearm content that I want to make when I get to a place where I can film that kind of content. I've got a Henry 410 axe, which is a cool rifle. I've got some new steel targets. I have a really cool guitar. Ooh, there's a super chat. I have a really cool guitar that I got from... my mind's escaping me. Do you remember the brand of the new one that I got that's got the built-in Bluetooth speaker and drum machine, and it's a really cool guitar. It's called the One Man Band guitar. G&H maybe, I think is maybe the brand. It's called the One Man Band. It's got a built-in drum machine and built-in speaker, built-in effects. Super cool guitar. I'll be reviewing that soon, so be watching out for that. What was that super chat?
William Herrera. What is your most
William
memorable...
Herrera, you have in your monitors coming your way, by the way, as a top tier patron. What was it?
What is your most memorable guitar build?
My most memorable guitar build, and more importantly, what that represented for me, making a choice to dial back working so much and investing more in my son. Whenever I see that guitar laying around the house, it reminds me to stop what I'm doing and give my kids some more attention and love. And so that one I think is going to be most memorable. He was so excited to build it. He loves that thing. We started guitar lessons and he started getting a little frustrated, so we put it on pause for a little bit, and we're going to try again in a couple of months when his fingers are a little bit stronger. So he was doing really well at first, but I didn't want it to be a source of anxiety or animosity in our relationship. So I was like, we'll just let that rest until your fingers are physically stronger, and then we'll go. So, oh man, another super chat. The 12 fret. The cheap, cheap price of influence. Thank you for all you do. Oh, it disappeared. Where'd it go?
Thank you for all you do for the world and community.
Thank you for all you do for the world and community. Wow. You're going to make me cry right now. You paid $20 to say that to me. Thank you. Gosh. I'm getting all choked up. Don't do that to me. I'm crying now. Stop it. I'm not crying. You're crying. Shut up. Oh, gosh. Thank you at the 12th fret. Man, you got me. Thank you. Okay. Where are we at? 3 more questions?
3 more.
Okay.
Haven't gotten any more.
3 more questions, guys. Throw them up there.
Think you'd ever do a guitar case on a budget video sometime?
Think you'd ever do a guitar case on a budget video sometime? I've thought about it. Here's the thing. I don't make a video unless I've figured it out. And the reason why I haven't done a video on making a budget guitar case is because guitar cases have gotten really inexpensive. The guitar cases that I ship my custom builds in run about $50. And the reason why I buy them is not only because it's a hard case, which makes it safer to ship in, but it is it also comes with the box to ship it. Okay, when you build a guitar, you don't have a big box for shipping, and to buy a big box costs about $20. And so I would rather just spend $50 and get a hard case with it, right? And then I have a box to ship it in because the case ships to you in a box. So ChromaCast is a brand that I've been using for my guitar and bass cases. They used to be under $50. I think now they might be between $50 and $60 for a guitar or a bass case. I haven't figured out a way to do it cheaper or better for the price. I think all the ones that I'd be making, if I were to make it out of plywood or something, might come in a little cheaper, but it'd be far more bulky and far more heavy. And so I don't necessarily think it's a good option. And I've watched some of those other YouTube videos where people make their own guitar cases, and I just don't. I'm just like, I would never do that when I could buy a half decent case for $50. And it's gonna be lighter weight, more streamlined, probably protect it just as good. You know, so why? So if I figure it out, I'll make a video about it.
I have a question.
My wife has a question.
What's your favorite build of the unofficial builds?
What's my favorite build of the unofficial builds? Gosh, there are so many good unofficial builds. If you guys haven't been following the unofficial Great Guitar Build Off, you need to. I am stunned at the, holy cow, Drew. Drew just sent me a $50 super chat.
Just wanted to support you and your channel.
Don't have a question, just wanted to support you and your channel and your family. Gosh, Drew, everyone's trying to make me cry. Stop it. Thank you, Drew. Thank you for being a Patreon supporter. Thank you for the super chat. Stop it. I'm not crying. You're crying. What was I talking about? Oh, the unofficial guitar build off. Yeah, so I think probably my favorite, there's a really cool, I think it's called the welded guitar, that's made out of a bunch of tools. Like a dude welded together like a bunch of wrenches and screwdrivers and like cogs and gears and wheels. And it looks so cool. And I think because it looks so cool and it's so far outside of the realm of possibility for me to do, because I'm not a metalsmith, it's something I would love to do. I'd love to be a metal fabricator. But I don't have, obviously, the means. Traveling a motorhome, I can't bring an arc welder with me. But man, I just love the way that looked. So that's probably my favorite. I do like the Odin Flying V. That's like he's carving it to look like an old like Greek, masterpiece, work of art thing. I like the Dragon Inlay one. I like the one that was made out of the end grains of plywood. Those are all super cool builds, but probably the welded metal guitar is probably my favorite. All right. One more question? Is that how many we have?
One more, I think, yeah.
One more question. No more super chats that make me cry.
Let's see. Favorite place you visited with the family now, and where's the van going next? I'm going to combine 2 questions.
What was it?
Where's the favorite place you've visited with the family now, and where's the van going next?
Favorite place that I visited with my family, and where's the van going next? These aren't guitar questions, but I'll oblige.
Wrap it up with that.
Yeah. So, favorite place that I've been? Had a lot of fun in Yellowstone. I would say was pretty cool. I mean, as far as like natural beauty, and then we also hung out with another full-time family that week, and so I think that was super life-giving. I think for Jen and I to like have some adult friends, and for our kids to have some kids their age to hang out with and experience Yellowstone with. So that's really cool. South Dakota amazed me with its beauty. I liked seeing Mount Rushmore. I loved even more listening to my wife homeschool the kids and teach them all about Mount Rushmore, and then see the expressions on their face when they saw it in real life. That was invaluable. So those are probably my top two, at least for this year. I'd have to think about where we went last year if I wanted to add any of those. Where we're going next, we never really know. We stopped making plans because plans never go according to plan. So we've stopped making reservations anywhere, and we just kind of let the Lord lead us. We are currently outside of Durango, Colorado, just in National Forest, dispersed camping, which is pretty cool. I have a strong enough cell signal here that I can do a live stream, so that's awesome. And then we are thinking about going to Telluride, maybe. Depends on weather. I didn't even know that that was a place until recently. My wife was like, let's go to Telluride. I was like, you're making that up. But I'm an avid mountain biker, and so it sounds like a cool place to visit. So we may go there. We may also go to start heading towards southern Utah. We skipped through that when there was the heat wave, so we missed out on like Moab and Zion and Bryce. We want to do those areas, so we might head there next too. We don't really know. So anyway, that's it, you guys. Thank you so much for joining this live stream. I wanted to keep it short so that people would watch it later, but I think that's really not going to happen 45 minutes later. But thank you so much for tuning in. Had a blast as always. We'll do this again next time I don't have a video upload. We'll just keep doing these live streams, and this time we had an agenda, but maybe next time we won't have an agenda. You guys can just chat with me. That'd be fun. All right, peace out, you guys.